Thank you for joining me, everyone. Charles Moskowitz here. Today is Friday, and it does seem like, hopefully, God willing, this whole rotten impeachment hoax is finally over. They say it's going to end tomorrow, Saturday, or even late tonight. Thank God. It has been just 3 years of absolute the most deadly and dangerous conspiracy theories and crap thrown at this president at every time he turns by this hysterical and shrill uh, anti-Trump movement. And it's something that's interesting. I'm writing an anthropological paper on it right now. What has led to this kind of hysteria? And that's what it is. Trump is absolutely right when he calls it a witch hunt. What are they going to come up with now? Are they going to finally throw in the towel and maybe do what a reasonable, loyal opposition does, which is criticize him on issues and present a candidate this year that might oppose him, which is what you're supposed to do in America? I predict that they're not going to do that. I think they're going to come up with a new conspiracy theory. I don't know what it is. Maybe they'll dig up Stormy Daniels. I don't know. Or Michael Avenatti, her lawyer, if he's not in prison. I don't know what they're going to come up with, but it ain't going to be pretty, and it's not going to, look good. I mean, I guess they could go back to the old usual playbook of claiming that President Trump has something against black men and women, or minorities, or gays, or anyone else. Ironically, Jews, which is, laughable given the fact that he just came out with this incredibly excellent and brilliant and fair Middle East peace plan for Israel and the Palestinians. We should look at that. I think the Palestinians, if they weren't so obsessed with Jew hatred, they might take it on and create a reasonable Palestinian state to exist peacefully alongside Israel and in partnership with Israel. They can't do that because they can't abide Jews. But getting back to Trump, I hope that we can look at this whole ugly affair in its proper context and not just simply forget about it and enjoy our victory, although we should. But we have to understand how corrupt this was, how this whole thing was concocted. There has to be an investigation, not just of Shifty Schiff and all the other people, but the so-called whistleblower and all of this whole conspiracy. Otherwise, we're going to be doomed to repeat it. This is a leftist attempt to overthrow the government. It's that simple. President Trump did nothing that any president doesn't do in a normal course of events. When he negotiates with a foreign leader in terms of when they're going to receive American aid and under what conditions. Ironically, I think Obama withheld aid from the Egyptian government of General al-Sisi because he was upset that his friends, the Muslim Brotherhood, that their government had collapsed. Remember? He withheld military aid. Now, he didn't actually, basically when these aid packages are approved by Congress, there's a deadline, and I don't think Obama exceeded the deadline. So, he didn't commit a crime, but neither did Trump with Ukraine. He did. Even the left admits that he did deliver the aid. But watch how they lie. Their testimony. And even at the very end, the pitiful, feckless closing remarks of that pencil-necked geek, Schiff, he threw the kitchen sink at Trump. He's brought up he's a tool of the Russians and he's a spy of the Russians and this whole rotten, crazy crap. And even like, in the tradition of this former congresswoman from Brooklyn, who I hear all the time on MSNBC. Her name escapes me right now, but every time Trump tweets or every time he speaks publicly, he's obstructing justice. It's an awfully perverse understanding of what justice is if you cannot even express an opinion. Or you have, of course, Alan Lichtman, who was on my program, this eminent historian, who insists that Trump should be impeached because of his war on women. That's a good one. In other words, it's so deranged and so beyond reason in terms of opposing Trump's policies. I mean, they do oppose his policies, but they know his policies are working, so they're going berserk. They have to stop it, and they have to make sure the American people don't see it. So they bring up all of these bizarre theories. He's a secret tool of the Russians and that kind of stuff. Well, anyway, I think the American people are sick of it. Even liberals are getting sick of it. It's becoming so obviously false. And I hope that we can all maybe take a rest now. Maybe the left can have a night's sleep, rather than this torturous conspiracy mongering. And then get behind Bernie Sanders. I hope Bernie Sanders wins the Democratic nomination, only because I think it would be a very interesting fight, one between a socialist and a capitalist. What could be better? What could be a more interesting contrast? Then we'll really have an election where you really do have two different visions and ideological understandings brought up in the public sphere for debate. We'll really learn something from that. That's how we grow as a society and as people. But anyway, I'm just grateful, and thank God it's over. I mean, the Republicans did a very clean job in their defense of President Trump. It was the first time in 3 years that President Trump's side was heard, and I think they did it. I think they knocked it out of the park. God willing, there'll be some reasonable, sane Democrats who are going to join the Republicans in voting to acquit the president. Anyway, so those are my thoughts on it. And again, Charles Moskowitz here. Check out my website, charlesmoskowitz.com. I'm preserving various videos and audios and blogs on that site because some of my blogs have been banned from the internet, so I'm transferring them over with new titles so they don't get banned again onto my website, which is a WordPress site. And I'm also probably going to handle some of my YouTube interviews in the future without YouTube. I'll just do a quick introduction on YouTube, and then I'll go to all of these other servers who carry the show, including Vimeo and Podomatic and a whole list of them. They're all listed on my website so that I don't lose the YouTube channel, and I keep it up. I don't trust YouTube, and they'll accuse me of something if I have enemies over there. So anyway, but check out charlesmoskowitz.com, and have a great day, everybody. Thank you.